Hi, second graders. Mrs. Shannon here with our second science lesson. Today we are going to be talking about the larva stage of a darkling beetle, which is a mealworm. We will talk about a pupa and an adult darkling beetle later on in this unit. Today's focus question is, how do mealworms grow and change? So we are going to be observing our mealworms today and thinking about how do mealworms grow. You will need your insect record packet. Remember, this has a green cover on it. We have already filled in one of the worksheets. You are going to turn the page to the second page that's today. Please put the date at the top. It is April 20th. And write down our focus question. How do mealworms grow and change? Pause this video if you need time to write down the focus question and then press play when you're ready to continue. All right, so today we will be talking about how mealworms grow and change throughout their life cycle. We are going to focus on molting. Now, I mentioned in yesterday's morning meeting that one of your classmates has already observed that their mealworm has molted. At this point, I will assume that many more of you have had a mealworm molt inside the vial. Let's talk about what molting is. The mealworm will go through different stages during its life. The mealworm is in the larval stage. When the larva needs to grow, it first sheds or molts its outer skin or exoskeleton. This is called molting. The old skin, also called a molt, is left behind, and you will see it inside your vial. What do you think the tiny little objects are at the bottom of your vial? If they are not bran, what do you think they are? Could it be parts of the mealworm's molt? Let's take a closer look at what it looks like when a mealworm molts. Remember, that means sheds its outer skin. When it sheds its skin, it allows it to grow bigger. So here is an example of our mealworm. We can see that there is the head, the legs, the abdomen, the spine, and the thorax right there at the top. So we will be reviewing different structures of the mealworm and body parts throughout this unit. But today, remember, we are focusing on molting. So let's take a look at this picture. The top image shows a mealworm, which this might look like many of the mealworms you have in your vial. You can see it is a little darker in color. This is a mealworm that is really close to molting, right? It is about to grow and get bigger. When it sheds its exoskeleton, it allows the insect to grow. So if you think about our focus question, how do mealworms grow and change? Well, they molt, which helps them grow. The next picture you see there kind of looks like a shriveled up version of a mealworm. That is the exoskeleton. So just as a snake sheds its skin, a mealworm sheds its outer layer, and that is what is left. The outer layer, it dries up. And so some of you might be able to kind of roll your vial around carefully and find an exoskeleton in your vial. If you are feeling brave and also being very careful with your mealworm, you can always take out the exoskeleton to examine it further and take a closer look at it. You can then just throw it in the garbage, and you do not need to put it back in your vial. But if you would rather not touch it, you can just leave it in the vial. No problem. The last picture on this page, you can see it almost looks like a white mealworm. This is a mealworm that has freshly molted, meaning it has just shed its exoskeleton and it is growing. And you will see that the outer layer will kind of uh, regrow and create a harder shell around it once again before it continues to molt. So this is what your mealworm will look like after it is freshly molted. It does not last long that it will stay this color, but if you are lucky enough to catch your mealworm just after it has molted, this is what it might look like. Mrs. Shannon has actually never seen a mealworm in this stage after it is freshly molted. So it will be kind of exciting if you are able to see one. So now we're going to go back to our worksheet with our focus question. How do mealworms grow and change? So what did we learn about in this lesson? How do mealworms grow? What process do they go through to get bigger? They have to shed their outer layer, which is also called molting. You got it. So for this page, don't forget to draw a picture of your mealworm through your observations and write a response to today's focus question. You will take a picture of your observation page and attach it to the final slide on this assignment so I can take a look at your wonderful observations. Don't forget to click submit.